All right, Parkinson's. What's going on, everybody? Dr. Schilling with today's Wellness Wisdom. I'm called well. It is Wednesday. I'm so accustomed to saying Wellness Wednesday. Here we're back. It's Wednesday. So we're talking about Parkinson's today. This was brought to the forefront of my attention based on one of our participants came in, Jamie, who had talked about, and of course names have been changed for privacy, but in order to provide information for the general public that get labeled with a diagnosis because they're genuinely seeking understanding of their symptoms, we just want to caution you to accept the diagnosis and assume that's the only route you have, okay? If my mother had chosen to accept something other than MS, who knows where she'd be right now. She's up with God, as they say. So, eternal dirt nap. Emma did not, she liked that. Anyway, we're all going there sometime. We're all going back to worm dirt. It's okay to talk about it. So, a lot of things like Parkinson's and MS like that are diagnosis by exclusion, okay? So they search and search and search for a reason, then all of a sudden they say, oh look, you have low dopamine in your brain, or there's some type of degradation in the dopaminergic neurons in your brain. That's a bunch of technobabble nerdy stuff that is basically like your dopamine levels in your brain are less, okay? Your ability to calm down and, dopamine from a neural standpoint is like anxiousness. So what they do is they put you in a box and they say, okay, all your symptoms match up with this diagnosis. We're going to call it Parkinson's. And so every diagnosis is always about the symptoms. And then they put it in a convenient box. And it's one of the 10,000 diagnoses in the ICD-10 book. There are over 10,000 of them. I think there's 10,000 things wrong with the human body. I beg to differ. But I'm a weirdo, so what do you want? So what's Parkinson's about? Parkinson's is like movement issues. It's motoricity. It's moving your body. So should I or shouldn't I? It's like this conflict. Like, I want to move, but I don't know if I should. I want to, but I don't want to. And so it's like making a movement that you don't really want to make, but you feel compelled to make it because you got to go forward with it. And so how does this fit? Like someone who has Parkinson's symptoms, they have like the shuffling gait, or they have changes, or they have tremors and stuff like that. It can come in a bunch of different forms. So some people, it's about catching and or retaining things. Okay, so they want to hold things on so they don't move forward, right? So it's the catching, retaining kind of scenario. There's some interesting research related to, it's a conflict related to the hand that performs the despicable act. I was like, that's interesting. So they're talking about like robbery, I think rape was in there. There are all kinds of stuff as far as like, it's the hand, like it's the shaming hand, it's the despicable hand that does the thing. That's kind of the concept. There's also fear of failure, fear of not reaching the end. So people don't end up taking action because they have this fear. So they feel held back. They feel like their nervous system basically slows them down, and they lose sensation and stuff like that based on their brain conflict. And as a result, it's kind of like things that they want to be in control of, but they can't be in control of them. It's like their body sometimes they feel like they can't be in control of it. Their life, they feel like they can't be in control of it. They can't take action, they can't move forward. Someone else is imposing their will on them. Someone else is controlling their motions and their movements and stuff like that. They stop before they reach the end, or they stop even going before they stop themselves even before they get going, because they're fear of being judged. Okay? A lot of us at some point in our lives have had either judgments laid upon us or had fear of being judged. And so that will affect your brain and keep you from moving forward. So these are just some of the flavors that it comes in inability to go all the way. It's like feeling crippled to exercise the power you've always had, but you don't have an outlet for it. So these are just a smattering of all the things that are out there from a German New Medicine standpoint that are contributing to someone's symptoms, right? Are they causing it? Are you thinking that these are causing your dis-ease? Great question. I would say it's deeper than that, right? Obviously, when a conflict is prolonged enough, it starts affecting the brain. So, I'm sure you or someone you know has a family member or friend that's been affected by this kind of stuff. So, if you find this information valuable, share it with them. Like, get a dialogue going, get a conversation going. Like, say, hey, have you ever thought about any of this? Like, have them listen to it. Ask them, like, what part of this resonates? Because not all this is going to be relevant for all of you or all of your friends and family, but something's going to stick and be like, oh man. and then there's going to be a thread, like they're going to make some connections of dots and stuff like that. And it doesn't start yesterday. Like Parkinson's symptoms don't start yesterday. They are building up over decades. So typically people have these conflicts very early in life, and then they just build upon themselves. And then eventually, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been to 6 doctors, and I finally went to Mayo, and they did a brain scan, and they took my blood and did a spinal tap and all this other stuff. And $50,000 in tests later, you now have Parkinson's or MS or something like that. Human beings, we want to understand that one thing is causing our problems so we can focus our effort and our blame on that one thing. Instead of saying, okay, if these threads, if these stressors are relevant for my life, how am I allowing them to hold me back? Because I'm not blaming you for them. I'm not suggesting you blame yourself for them. I'm saying take responsibility for them, because if you don't, nothing's going to change. Nothing in your life's going to change. So take responsibility for it. I don't care. We're listening to some clip this morning, like, I'd rather cause a car accident than have an accident happen to me. Like, that's how where I'm at in life. I'd rather cause the accident to happen than feel like I got blindsided and I didn't know what happened. Because I feel like I'm literally take responsibility for everything that happens in my life. Good, bad, indifferent. So that's where we're at. That's kind of the emotional, neuroemotional, conflict-based model of what happens in the brain, not the dopamine in the brain, the conflicts that happen in the brain that show up in the body in the form of the motoricity, the movement and the fluid of movement and the shuffling steps and stuff like that. So if you want, DM us your topic, send us, copy it below or paste it below, whatever you want to do. Like, people are going to want to know what you want to learn about, because I'm sure if you want to know something, other people want to know something. So we just encourage you to share your ideas, share your perspective, good, bad, or indifferent. You're not hating on me. If you find this offensive, then that's an internal reaction, and I love you anyway. So, but just want to provide this information from a different perspective, because you're not getting it anywhere else. So I want to make sure you have it, and we appreciate the opportunity to serve you, and we will see you tomorrow for the Wellness Wednesday. All right, guys, have a great night. Bye-bye.